Hello everyone, this is the Defense Scope reporting. Right now, a big, high-level delegation from the Pakistani government and military is visiting Turkey. Our Chief of Army Staff, General Asim Munir, is also part of this delegation. He's been holding important meetings with some very high-level military officials in Turkey's defense sector. Today, we'll be talking about that. Also, there's an important issue about attack helicopters, since Turkey is one of the few countries in the world that manufactures attack helicopters. So, what's the Pakistan Army's take on acquiring the T129? What's the current situation? We'll talk about all of this in detail in today's video. This video is going to be really important. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure to like this video and subscribe. Since the 15 to 20 day standoff between India and Pakistan ended, since then, everyone's talking about the areas where we dominated in the standoff, where the Pakistan armed forces were in control. But it's also really important to discuss the areas where we weren't prepared and didn't have adequate equipment. Highlighting our weaknesses and shortcomings is crucial. We've touched on some of these points in our previous videos, and it's good that Pakistan's armed forces are focusing on those things too. They're taking the right steps to fill those gaps over time. But today, the shortcoming we're talking about, which Pakistan has felt desperately over the last 15 to 20 days, is the lack of an advanced attack helicopter. Imagine if the standoff between India and Pakistan didn't stay just a standoff and instead turned into a full-blown war, with India launching a ground invasion. Pakistan does have a good fleet of attack helicopters to support their tanks and armored columns. They have capable and advanced attack helicopters. But in this context, we currently don't have anything like that. Look, in modern warfare, the key features or requirements of a modern attack helicopter are that it carries modern weapon systems, can hit targets from long range, and can defend itself. Meaning, it should have good self-defense suites and good electro-optical sensors. These are the main features that define a modern attack helicopter. We operate a large number of attack helicopters, but they're mostly old H-1F Cobras, and we have about 50 of those. They're not advanced at all. We only have around 4 Mi-35 helicopters, which are quite advanced with good weapon systems. But having just 4 is a really low number. You can't fully utilize them in a full-scale war. So, at this point, you definitely need an attack helicopter on an emergency basis. They want it urgently. Earlier, the Pakistan Army's approach was not to rush this case at all. They were considering all options, whether it's the American H-1Z Viper, the Turkish T129 ATAK helicopter, or the Z-10Mi. In fact, they were even procuring the Z-10Mi. But the delivery timelines kept getting delayed and delayed. So, the situation with the Z-10Mi isn't very favorable for the Pakistan Army either. When it comes to the American AH-1Z Viper, negotiations are still ongoing between Pakistan and the United States. But solid, we're not seeing any development over there either. That's why a high-level delegation from the Pakistan Army is currently in Turkey, led by our Chief of Army Staff General Asim Munir. They held an important meeting with the Turkish government and the top delegation from the Turkish aerospace industry. Just to remind you, the Turkish aerospace industry is the state-owned company that manufactures the T129 ATAK helicopter right now. So this looks really promising and positive. There's a chance that some discussion happened here about the T129. Earlier, we were kind of in a relaxed mood thinking that even if an attack helicopter comes in 4 to 5 years, it's no big deal. But this India-Pakistan standoff has reminded us again how important our pending defense procurements are and how urgent it is to get them done quickly. Speaking of attack helicopters, they're a really vital part of modern combat, and without them, our chances in ground combat are seriously affected. The domination chances come down to 50 to 50. That's why procuring it as soon as possible is becoming a necessity for us right now. Talking about the T129 ATAK helicopter, it's a very modern and highly capable attack helicopter. Turkey has a huge list of indigenous weapons integrated with this helicopter, whether it's anti-tank missiles, long-range anti-tank missiles, or air-to-air missiles. Like the Lahat type, for example. The weapons are already integrated with this helicopter. Along with that, its internal avionics, onboard electro-optical systems, and sensors are also highly capable. This makes it easily one of the best attack helicopters in the world. Previously, the biggest problem with the T129 in the context of Pakistan was its engine. It had an American origin engine, and the US was not willing to let Pakistan have the T-129, for several reasons. It's possible that the US here. Turkey wants to sell its attack helicopters to Pakistan, and there are many reasons for that. But the US had blocked the sale of the T-129 to Pakistan, and a lot of experts believe that the whole T-129 deal was basically over for Pakistan. They thought Pakistan couldn't procure it anymore. However, now Turkey's indigenous helicopter engine is fully developed and even its serial production has started. This means the engine is now being mass-produced. It's starting to happen, so basically, there shouldn't be any issues with Pakistan acquiring the T-129 now. There was a problem with one engine, but that's being sorted out by now. Plus, a high-level delegation from the Pakistan Army visited yesterday, which indicates that Pakistan is exploring options to acquire attack helicopters on an emergency basis. I know very well that things might be a bit confusing for you all because there are credible reports about this from Pakistan too. The Army has already selected the Z-10ME and is planning to procure it. So, why are discussions about the T-129 starting now? Let me explain. No country ever relies on just one option. They always keep multiple options open so that if one option doesn't work out, they can switch to another. The same applies to the Z-10ME, T-129, and AH-1G Viper attack helicopters. Right now, we've chosen the Z-10ME, but if it doesn't work out in time, if the delivery doesn't happen or if there are performance issues in the long term, we need a backup option that we can execute on time and meet our emergency requirements. So, as a second option, you currently have the T-129 ATAK and the American AH-1W Viper helicopters, which the Pakistan Army has kept as their backup plan. If the Z-10ME isn't delivered on time, then as a stopgap solution, we can go with either the AH-1W Viper or the T-129 attack helicopter. We'll arrange it because our requirement is really urgent right now, so we can't afford to waste even a single day, let alone a year. That's why having multiple options is super important here. Hopefully, you all understand what I'm saying.